Welcome to the Lurie Children's IRB Reporting Requirements presentation, part of the Ann and Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago HRPP training series. After this presentation on IRB reporting requirements, you should be able to identify what is required to be reported to the IRB after the initial approval of the research study, define each continuing reporting submission type, explain the investigator responsibilities for each continuing reporting submission type, and describe the possible actions by the IRB. You are not done once your study is initially reviewed by the IRB. There are several types of continued reporting required. The submission of continuing review reports for the periodic review and approval of the study, the submission of changes to the study via the amendment process, the reporting of any protocol deviations, and/or unanticipated problems during the course of the research study and adverse events that occurs during the course of the study. According to federal regulations, the approval period of a research study should be related to the level of risk and no less often than 1 year. The study should be submitted for periodic review at least 30 days prior to the expiration date to ensure adequate time for review and approval prior to expiration to avoid a lapse in approval. Regulations do not provide grace periods for research that expire. If a protocol approval expires, all research activities must stop until IRB reapproved. All changes, even simple modifications, require IRB approval and should be submitted as amendments. Amendments are reviewed by the IRB to ensure there is no change to the risks of the study. The proposed changes to the study cannot be implemented until IRB approval is obtained, unless there is immediate and apparent hazards to the participants. In these situations, the PI may implement the change without IRB approval, but must notify the IRB chair within 72 hours and submit an amendment to modify the study. That amendment will be reviewed at the next convened IRB meeting. An unanticipated problem, a significant deviation from the protocol, or the occurrence of a serious adverse event may also require reporting to the IRB. Report any event to the IRB promptly within 10 days that meets the following 3 criteria. 1 is related to the study, 2 is unexpected, and 3 has or could increase risks to participants or others. Unanticipated problems are any incidents, experiences, or outcomes that are unexpected in terms of the nature, severity, or frequency of the event, is related or possibly related to participation in the research, and suggests that the research places the participants or others at a greater risk of harm. For example, if a laptop containing protected health information is lost, this could breach participant confidentiality. A protocol deviation is any aberration, whether accidental, unintentional, or intentional, from the IRB-approved research plan that cause or could cause harm to participants, increase the risk of harm, impact scientific integrity, compromise our human protection program, have the potential to recur, or represent possible serious or continuing noncompliance. An example of a protocol deviation that would require IRB submission is enrolling a subject who did not meet all of the inclusion-exclusion criteria. Serious adverse events include those resulting in death, life-threatening injury, hospitalization or prolongation of hospitalization, persistent or significant disability, or a congenital anomaly or birth defect. Serious adverse events require reporting to the IRB if they are unanticipated with regard to specificity, severity, or frequency, possibly or probably related to the research, and is serious or involves risk to participants or others. Serious adverse events that occur at another institution in the study or in a study with the same investigational agent and the population and meet the criteria must still be reported to our IRB within 10 days. In summary, the interactions between the IRB, investigators, and research staff do not end after the initial approval. All research requires periodic review. Any changes to the study require IRB approval prior to implementation, and any significant and unanticipated problems, deviations, or serious adverse events require reporting to the IRB. For more information on IRB reporting requirements, please see the IRB Policies and Procedures Section 9 and 13. All the required submission forms can be found on the IRB websites on the IRB Forms and Templates page. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact any IRB staff.